This is an interactive shell, right? This is an interactive shell. But how do we write a Spark application, in Jupyter or in PyCharm or in some IDE to read the data from S3 and write to it? Okay, so let me show you that there. Okay, now let me close this now. So I'm closing this because this image, it is consuming a lot of space actually. I'm powering off. Now I'm going to open this Jupyter lab and Jupyter notebook. From that, how do we write a program, standalone program to read and write to S3? Jupyter notebook. The versions of Spark and Hadoop, I did not check them, but the code will be same. Whatever the code that we are going to use, that code is going to be same. Only the versions might be different. Yeah. Yeah, so here, right, from PySpark.sql import Spark session. And how to create Spark driver, guys? Spark equal to Spark session dot master, sorry, not master, builder dot config Spark dot master local. There is a one configuration. Next I add one more configuration, that Spark dot app dot name s3 app, and followed by, so we need to provide the jar files or the corresponding libraries to be used in our application. Okay, so there are certain libraries, Hadoop libraries are there to interact with AWS. Okay, so let me show you that. Go to Maven repository. Okay, so under Maven repository, just search for Hadoop-AWS. Okay, Hadoop-AWS. We have something called as like this, Hadoop-AWS. Just click on this, and these are the Hadoop versions. So what do you think this is Hadoop-AWS? We are writing a Spark program, okay, but we are trying to, just very important guys here, just remember this Spark app. Okay, this Spark app is trying to read and write from S3, isn't it? Okay, so what is the library that Spark uses to read and write from a storage system? From not only S3, it may be from local file system, or it may be some HDFS or anything. It is from Cassandra or anything, any storage system. What is the library that it uses? It uses Hadoop library, remember guys. That is why even though we are writing a Spark application, we are using a library called as Hadoop-AWS. That is Hadoop connecting to AWS from Spark. So we have to add that library to the Spark application. Okay, so for that, go to Maven. We have all those libraries in Maven repository, the public repository. So choose this Hadoop-AWS, and these are all the Hadoop versions. I'm not sure guys which version is going to support, uh, but let me go with the least version, not the latest may not support sometimes. I'll go with some latest version, some 2.6.3. And this is what if you go to Maven here, this is the group ID. You can see here group ID. This is the group ID, right? Org Apache Hadoop, and this is the artifact ID. Otherwise, do one thing: copy this entire stuff, Control C, and paste here. Okay, and the next one is, we need one more library, that is go back. Along with Hadoop AWS, we need Hadoop-common also. Okay, just click on this, and scroll down. What is the version we have chosen for this one? 2.6.3. Choose the same version, guys, here also. 2.6.3, and copy this stuff and paste here. Okay, so from the first one, this is the group ID. Copy this group ID, paste it here, colon, use colon, and followed by see, colon followed by the version 2.6.3. Just remove this, is not required now. Just we need only the group ID, artifact ID, and the version. And from this also copy the group ID. Control V colon Hadoop hyphen common Control V colon 2.6.3. Okay, so this is not required. Just remove this. And now we need these two. This is the library corresponding to Hadoop AWS, and this is the library corresponding to Hadoop Common. So these are two libraries required in Spark application to interact with what you call as AWS. Okay. So how we are going to use these two libraries in the Spark application, where we are going to specify them. Okay, let me show you that. So Spark configurations. So go to Spark configuration documentation. Search for, here I'm searching for it. Okay, Spark dot jars dot packages. Can you see some configuration here, guys? This called as comma separated list of Maven coordinates of jars to include in the driver and executor class paths. Okay, so how do we have to include this? So this is a configuration property name, and we need to provide the values. Okay, so how we have to provide the values? You can see here the coordinates should be, just to see, read this line. The coordinates should be of the form group ID colon artifact ID colon version. You got it? The library information, how we have to provide. We have to provide in this format: group ID colon artifact ID colon version. That is the reason, I frame like this: group ID, uh, artifact ID colon artifact ID. This is called as artifact ID, and this is the version. Got it? So what I do is now here in the Spark application, Spark dot jars dot packages. Okay, packages, comma. Now we have to copy the first this one and paste it here. And the next one, next coordinate, next Maven coordinate, copy this also, copy this and paste it here. That's it, guys, here. So this is how we need to provide. Got it? And finally, get or create. That's it. Let me run this. Let's see whether the Spark driver creates or not. Control enter. So in the backend, what's happening in the background we can see from here. So in the background, what's happening, just observe. See what happens actually. Observe clearly. Observe carefully, guys. What happened? Did I enter control enter or not? Yeah, it's starting. Just see this, guys, what's happening in the background. Observe carefully. So we have mentioned only the coordinates. What is going to happen? Observe here now. So I think the driver must be created by now. Yeah. the driver is created successfully. You can observe here. Okay, is if it is printed like this, you can observe that it is created successfully. Now let me clear this. Next, what is that I'm going to do is sc equal to spark dot spark context. To remember all these guys here, what is sc here? What does it say? Spark context. Okay, so this is a spark context. So we can set the Hadoop configuration, that is access key and secret key, not with Spark session. We have to set it from Spark context, not from Spark session. Okay, so further we need to create Spark context from Spark session like this. So after it is created, what is that we have to set is, you remember the step there, sc dot underscore JSC dot Hadoop configuration. So we'll copy that key later. Same thing. So this will be secret key. Secret key. Okay. And do not reveal these keys just for simplicity. I'm hard coding these, but instead you can store them in a file. We have seen some examples in the last previous sessions, right? We can store them in some file and we can read from there. You got this right? Secret key. Copy this and paste this here. Got it? Fine. So after this, just let me run this. Okay, that will be configured to these parameters. Okay, fine. Now we can read the data from it. That's df1 equal to spark dot or sc dot text file. I'm trying to read the text file. Text file fs colon s3a not f sorry s3a colon double slash. What's the bucket name? PySpark. I'm trying to create RDD. Sorry, we can create that like this, right? Sorry. It is JSON file, right? Oh, the file was JSON. We can directly create RDD. Spark dot read dot format. What was the file? JSON file. Dot load s3a colon double slash. What was the bucket name? Do you remember, guys? PySpark input. What is the file name? Do you remember the file name? .json .txt. I think this is the file, right? Is it correct? The bucket name and the file name. Okay, df1 dot. Let me just first print the schema. What happens? But the versions of Spark or the version of Hadoop and the version of Java, all these have to match, guys. And I'm not sure. I did not check with this version of Spark whether it is supporting to read from S3 or not. Because AWS doesn't support all the versions predominantly. Okay, so it has certain restrictions on the versions. So be careful. I'm not sure whether it is going to do it or not now. But Cloudera, what it was doing. But I'm not sure this is going to work or not. I don't know. But this is the code, guys. This is the code. Whatever is the version, this is the code. But if you don't read now, that could be the reason of only version problem, version incompatibility. Okay. So into the console. S3 bucket. This is a bucket PySpark input. World underscore bank dot json dot txt. Let's see this. What happens now? I'm submitting this. Control enter. It's throwing some issue, some error. What is that? AWS model status code some 400. Something wrong here. This is what I was actually expecting not to get, but this is the some issue that we face when we don't find the proper, you know what, keys, not keys actually. Keys are if there is any issue in connecting to that, maybe the version problem, or if there is any issue with the file, or there's any issue with the compatibility, version compatibility, all these, because of any issue, it can be any issue, that we have to figure it out, and it will show the possible causes for this error. But this is the code. Okay, this is the code, and if there is any library to be included, I will get let you know in the next session. But this is how we develop a standalone application to read and write to S3. Similarly, we can, after processing is done, that I have shown you in Cloudera VM, to read and write from it. Why? Because in Cloudera VM everything is pre-configured. All these libraries and the Hadoop and Spark version, everything is compatible versions are already installed, so it won't throw any issues. But here we are doing manually all this, so we have to take care of all those version compatibility issues. We did not check for it, that is the reason it's showing these issues. Okay, I will get them cleared. I will let you know what are all the issues. I will let you know. Okay guys, here is clear. Follow the same process, then you may succeed. I mean, I did not succeed here, but you may succeed. Okay.